And we are live back with another installment of the Authority Hour, where our mission is to not only grow ours, but to assist our audience in turning our digital presence and authority into our greatest asset. So, man, how have things been flowing on your side relative to our digital authority building and mission in life? How have things been on your side, brother?
Let me get, hey, welcome and thank you, Jesse. I'm Ronnie Haskins. I think thing is like, you know, I think things have been okay. Like I found myself overwhelmed this week, not able to produce a lot of content. I made 2 videos today that I have not finished editing yet that I can post today. Um, I find it daunting, bro, but like I'm not giving up. I'm just saying like the universe be pushing back, you know? Like how much do you really want this, dude? Like doors opening everywhere, so you find yourself distracted. And it's funny talking to you, Jesse, because you're a business coach and a business leader, so you kind of see the things like, okay, I see why you can't do that, Ronnie, because you need help here, 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 and here, and so we're all trying to find a way to pay for that help and to do whatever we can. And I have to try to get you to put that aside when we're building this authority. I'm like, I understand. Like, I got to figure out how to show up every day. It's massively daunting.
Not so. How much? Because you've been in the game for 30 years.
In
So
my
if you
business,
just
yes.
if you just kind of collectively look back at that 30 years, what what percentage of that would you say has been filled with what you're describing right now?
You mean wearing all the hats? I mean, trying to get the question right. Like you're talking about.
The daunting task of entrepreneurship, man. Like that's what I heard from you. Did I mishear?
No, you didn't miss here. It's just, this is just one more thing. Like you're not, so when I can't really separate them in my mind. Like when I'm talking about building my RH auto broker business with a team of 7 or 8 people and trying to grow that company and push the sales higher and train the staff and train myself and self-improve. There you go. So that's the answer. Last week and to this week, I have self-improved. So, and then adding in the authority aspect to it, to building a digital footprint online, that's my greatest asset, has been another daunting thing. I'm up for the challenge, but anybody watching, I'm like, it's not going to be easy. It's dude, it's a lot. But if I were to put one thing on what's moving the bar the fastest for me is self-improvement, like reading, expanding my brain, like figuring out why I'm still the problem for this particular thing going on in my business, because I don't like continuously pointing fingers at people, because I just feel like I'm pointing them at myself. So, so to answer your question, buddy, massive improvement in the last week as far as what I was able to learn and then apply to my business.
Right.
I got a kick on that.
See,
You want to
and
say hi, Brandy? We live.
bruh,
You
my
got to speak it to
internet.
the
I think my
microphone.
internet connection. Give
Hello.
me, give me a sec. Hello, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
He's having an
I
internet
can't
problem.
complain. I can't. Yeah. Let me reset my internet connection real quick and see if that fixes it. Give me a second.
All right, Brandy. She's made for the camera. Well, so while Jesse's resetting his internet, look, I'm by myself now. And so now I'm doing a podcast alone. But, when I bring this banner up about turning your digital footprint to your greatest asset. We all think our businesses we're building are our greatest assets, or maybe it's your house or whatever. But what we're trying to discuss and figure out how to capitalize on is building an authority online, because it's global and we can definitely touch more people's lives over the internet. Like, there's no doubt about that. We don't argue that anymore. So what we want to do is come together on this podcast and talk about ways that we can work on that on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and eventually yearly basis. So Jesse's been traveling, and he is, basically working on his internet issue at the hotel. So we'll give him a minute to try and come back, and we'll go from there.
All right.
There he is. He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you say hi to Blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, and I could hear like every other word clearly from what you were saying. It was like distorted in the digital, but I got the gist of what you were saying. So the interesting part about the profession that I've chosen is that, like, not only am I learning from my own entrepreneurial journey, but I get to see up close and personal my clients' journeys respectively. So working with someone that has been an operator in their business, like prior to purchasing their business, they worked in it as an employee.
Yeah.
And transitioning from working in it to owning it, there were tons of really unproductive business practices that had been in place that conditioned my client to think that that's how things go. So he's just kind of been taking licks for many years prior to him and I ever meeting, and having the conversations about how those lessons impacted him as a man to this day, as an entrepreneur to this day, as you know what I'm saying? Like, like I said, not only am I learning from my own journey, but I'm immersed in my clients' journeys as well. So like that learning curve is steep and long forever, like always. Like I'm constantly learning, because just as much as my clients learn from me relative to some of the cheat codes to actually engineering profitability and true long-term sustainability into their business, they're learning from me, but I'm learning from them like equally. You know what I mean?
I feel you. So like, as you're going through this journey, I got a question for you, right? When we're talking about trying to build this authority, I'm a big believer in giving it away free. Do you realize that I used to have a problem? Like, because I was like, I would like to speak on the stage one day and help some people, and maybe those people would pay to have me on the stage. But I always had this problem with, I already know that only 1% of the people are going to act on it and improve their lives, right? Not my problem, but still it tugs at my heartstrings, because I want everybody there to win. So what my brother got me talking about a long time ago is like, giving away my secret sauce or things that I do in my business. I made 2 videos about it today. One was about shipping cars. Like, if you're a broker out there, you didn't know these couple of things about shipping cars. I'll put that video out later on tonight. And it was just like free game. Like, yo, check this out. Don't go cheap. Do this, do whatever. My brother got me there to the point where he was like, look, man, give it away. Like, the people that really want to be in your room are going to work with you. And so I think it's just a thing that we need to let go of in order to open up ourselves to helping people. So here's my question for you. What do you think about giving your knowledge to people for free when you're building an authority online and trying to have a following of people on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all of them? What are your thoughts on that strategy?
I think that it is absolutely imperative that there be a balance in that, because there's tremendous value in giving away the game. And every week that you and I are engaged in this podcast, we're giving away free game every single week. But thinking about it from the context of human psychology, the value that people place on free things is, it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like if you if like thinking about it in the context of being a parent, I know that I have and continue to make tremendous sacrifices so that my children don't have to have some of the same experiences that I've had. Like the intent is for them to be able to start a step ahead of me, 2 steps ahead of me, 10 steps ahead of me. But
Right.
since they didn't have to actually experience the things that made me who I am, that makes me want to put them 10 steps ahead of me, they don't have the appreciation for the intent that I have. Because
Yeah, we made their lives a little too easy, like so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So what you apply that to what you're trying to say about when you're answering this question. So break it down for me. Like, what are you trying to say? Like, you're down for giving free game away, but what is it that you want your audience to learn?
I think it's a balance, because people, unfortunately, just human psychology, the free price tag, they equate that to, you get what you pay for. So like, why do I need to listen to what it is that you're saying?
The free price tag often means to me pain and suffering. And dude, I feel like it's gonna cost me even more. So like, yeah, I mean, all right, I feel you on that. Have you
So
thought
again,
about
my point in all of that, Ronnie, is I think that it's a balance that has to be struck, and it's a balance that I struggle to strike, to be transparent. The the right balance of, because like honestly, what I do is not work for me at all.
yeah,
So I'm open to, like, this is just conversation of how my mind works. So like I give it all away for free all the time. Like it's who I
can't
am.
turn it off. I know, I feel the same way. I'm talking about cars, it's always over people's heads, like, yeah.
You know what I mean? But understanding human psychology, I know that, a good portion of folks are never going to do anything with something that's associated with a free price tag.
Fair
Whereas
enough.
when they actually have skin in the game, it becomes more actionable. I literally had this conversation with my client today where I told him, like, we have to fight. Like, we are in a fight together, because all of the great things that we've been working on for the past few weeks, on the other side of those deliverables are the human behaviors that of their team that have been entrenched into the culture of their business for years,
Yeah.
decades. So we have to fight in order to, because this project is going to end up being upwards of $250 to $300,000 when it's all said and done. So
Impressive.
if we don't fight to make the actual behavioral changes within our team, the natural inclination is for them to slide back to what they know to be normal, what they know to be comfortable, what they know to have created a certain level of complacency for them. So if we're not willing to actually 10 toes down fight to make sure that our team changes their behavioral patterns relative to what it is that they're doing, the 250 to 300,000 that they are, it's the difference between that 250 to 300,000 being an investment versus being an expense. Because an investment is supposed to bring back ROI. But if we're not changing the behaviors, it's not going to bring back the adequate ROI, and then it is just an expense.
Put that
So
down for me, right? Where our audience isn't spending 250, but they are giving you their time, right? So you're going to give them free game, but you want to balance it between the free game and the actual skin in the game that's going to give them the results that they really need. That's what I hear you saying.
Yep. It's a balance.
So
Yep.
like, let's remove the work thing that you got going on and
Mhm.
break it down to building the authority. Like, because we on the ground floor here, we're trying to build authority. So like, how do you think that translates? Like, just a small bite. Like, how do you think that translates for helping people get there?
So the again, I think it's the balancing game, and balance in business and in life can be challenging. Um, so I mean, getting started, I think when we don't have any real traction at all, being sharing the game, giving the game away for free is absolutely invaluable and necessary in order to build credibility. So it's definitely necessary.
All right. I love that answer. So like, so the follow-up question I have for you, like, and it might be a selfish question for me. And here's why. Wait till you see it. Bam. You could even put that sentence in there. What game would you give me to win without you in my industry? like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to get me to follow you on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, sorry about the dogs. What game would you drop on Ronnie Haskins today? Like, Ronnie, you should follow me, and this is why. Here's one thing you can use today to get better in your business tomorrow.
So I would say to gain just a foundational, just a basic understanding of managerial accounting that's founded in generally accepted accounting principles. Because in business, what separates a business from being a hobby are the numbers. If we're not understanding what our numbers actually mean via our profit and loss and balance sheet, then we end up in a cycle of just emotional decision making that's
Oh,
not
we
founded.
love it there. We live there, Jesse. We like the way that stress and angst feels. Ugh,
Right.
preach.
So like that would be the starting point of truly just a basic understanding of managerial accounting, because from there then you can make decisions. You can take the emotion that you're feeling and attach it to some data, and through attaching it to that data you can truly understand where you are and make the necessary pivots to reverse or accelerate whatever that the goal is, that we're seeking.
Have you
So
made
yeah,
that free
the
game,
numbers.
that video?
What's that?
Have you made that free video for the public to consume? Like, hey, here's how you do that. Because if you did, we could share it right now. Like, if you could tell us where it is, like,
Yeah.
I'd like to see it, you
Yeah.
know?
So on my socials, when you go to bullsinc.us, there is countless, like, my whole bullsinc.us profile on Instagram and Facebook is nothing but free game. And it's not surface level free game either. It's truly like when you consume the initial post, but then when you read the caption itself,
Yeah.
the caption is jam packed with actionable things that
That you can do now to win without you. I
100%.
see. That's what I'm saying. And I think the message I'm trying to get across to our audience is, it's just, that's what I think. I think that we have to give away some of this stuff, but I like what you said too. There's a balance. Like, you can't just hang out with me forever for free and live in there rent free, because you're not going to appreciate it unless you come alongside, put some skin in the game. I mean, none of us have grown a business with zero money.
Shit, I'm doing it right now.
Why would growing your authority be zero money? So that was a great answer, man. I appreciate that. Did you have any questions? Go ahead.
Flipping that back on you.
Yeah.
I would ask the same question in reverse. When you think about, because the beauty of our conversations, Ronnie, is I'm 3 years into my personal entrepreneurial journey and you're 30 into yours. So the lessons that you've learned along the way are like invaluable, would be a disrespect to the commitment and sacrifices that you've made along the way. Like,
thank you.
like you've earned all that you had. Like, you fought for everything that you have. So again, I would flip that same question in reverse. What's your perspective on the topic?
So which one you want me to answer? This one right
The
here
first
first?
one, yes, yes.
So what I think about giving it away for free, like, not everybody's going to work with me. I can't, dude, I cannot sell all the cars, right? And that's where I'm not even, like, when I make content, I really want people to just understand, like, if I'm talking about leasing, right? The video I made today that I haven't put out yet, one of them is, what happens if I start my lease and I don't have enough miles? How do I get more miles in my lease, right? You sign up for 12,000 miles and you're driving 15,000 miles, which is really funny because if you've never leased a car with me before, you have to force me to give you a 12,000 mile year lease. There's a lot of reasons. It's like, you know what? This is going to be a new car in the household. You're not driving that car no more. Whether you're going to get milk, butter, kids, whatever, give me the keys to the new car. Everybody wants to drive it. So you intrinsically just drive more. And so that's the first thing, right? I'm like, maybe pay that $20 extra a month and get the 15,000 mile a year lease. But on the back end, it's like, don't panic, right? If you find that you've gone over in your miles the first year by 3,000 miles, we can add that up. That's 20 cents a mile times 9,000 miles. Bro, it's so cheap. It's like, it turns out to be like, you just need to save like 25 to 50 bucks a month for the next 2 years and you won't have a problem, you know? So, but people get so afraid that they get paralyzed and they don't know, oh my God, this can cost me thousands of dollars. I'm like, no, it's not. So giving that kind of stuff to people so they can just feel at ease without me trying to sell it to them makes me feel good, because I feel like they should know this. Like, bro, I am deeply entrenched and disgusted with learning things at 56 that I should have learned at 40, or that I was resistant to at 40 years old. One of them was leasing cars, bro. I didn't even do much of it back then. Now I'm like, huh?
When did that shift for you?
Data and money and analytics. Like, you know, I was trying to find a way to win the car game. And this is free game for anybody watching too, because people always want to win the car game, right? Who goes into it like, I want to take a L and have payments forever? No, nobody says that, right? But what they're saying is they're trying to find a way, right? They're trying to find a way to spend this money once and never have to do it again. It's like in our DNA. Like, if I can just pay cash and not have to do this again, I hate payments. Yeah, not all of us feel the same, my man. Like, nobody's in love with payments. But what we're missing, and what I missed, was, damn, we driving cars we don't want to drive. They got miles on them we don't want. We got random repairs. It's leaking in my driveway. And all of this time has gone by, and I don't even know what the next car is going to cost, if this one gets wiped out by a hailstorm or if it just gets stolen or crashed into. Like, no plan. So what alleviated that, and why I haven't had to fix my wife's car in over a decade now, is because I've leased it for the last decade. I haven't been to the mechanic in almost 10 years. Like, it's off the table. It's just gone. That's not free, but it's relaxing and enjoyable. So when I start figuring these things out,
do you have a stat on the average amount that someone pays for maintenance on their vehicle over the time that they have it?
Yeah, it depends on what you drive. So all the Toyota people, hello, Toyota people, they've spent zero. They always have that fight, you know, and they tell me how nice it is to drive a car with 400,000 miles on it. I'm like, you really? That's really? Okay. But, you know, if you're talking about a Range Rover, it's $15,000 a year just to maintain it. You know, if you're talking about, you can look it up. Like, you can, the cool thing is you can Google it on any car and it'll give you the averages. And then you have to put in how many miles are on the car. So if you're talking about a newer one, it's going to be lower. But as they age, they never get better, bro. Like, and your pain tolerance changes, you know. The majority of the people I end up talking to are there because of a catalyst. Something happened that forced them into the market. The person that walks into my office or calls me that says, yo, dude, I've been thinking about getting a car for the last 3 years. I've been saving. I'm ready to go. It does happen, but it's really rare.
Mm.
And even those folks they've under planned for how much they're going to spend because they just don't know, So yeah, man, there's all that data is available to talk about and to peruse and to discuss. But I like giving that game away for free. Like I like telling people like, yo, you should consider leasing, or maybe you shouldn't if you drive a lot and you like to pull big, heavy things with big trucks. They don't lease well. There's really not an easy way to win that game. You gotta have a lot of cash.
So from your perspective, how do we get, because the follow-up question, what ways do you show people how to win without you in your industry? We're both already doing that via the content that we're putting out. So how do we get our content in front of more people so that that messaging begins to resonate? Because what you just now said is absolutely invaluable. Most people, even the responsible, forward thinking folks that plan for um, um, upgrading their vehicle or replacing their vehicle, they don't budget enough in order to be prepared when that time actually comes. And I know that you have content that speaks specifically to that, and you're not charging anybody for it, but it's a matter of them seeing it. So how do we get our content that has the free game more
Yeah,
widely in front of folks' eyeballs?
I think you're right. And I think we have to give enough to become the authority, because the majority of the time, if I'm talking about a car situation, I'm met with an enormous amount of resistance, because everybody that I know and everybody that I meet, if they're in the car market, they're immediately experts. Yeah, I mean, by the way, when I'm buying stuff too, I feel like I've looked this up on Google enough. I'm an expert. It's like, but what I'm trying to tell people is, when we're just talking about building authority, not selling cars, it's like keeping my mind open to receive message from Jesse, who's been in the industry and in the game for how many years?
The consulting?
Yeah.
Since 2018.
Okay. So you've been in the game for, 9 years, right? So for me, and you always give me credit like I've been in it 30 years. That's a trap. It's like, Jesse, you're coming up with new information that I might have missed. We all got parents or older siblings or older aunts and uncles. And how do they operate at that level later on when it comes to new information? They're very resistant to it. So when I'm looking at your situation, like building an authority online, I'm open-minded to what you got to say. And I need to give that information to other people, and I got to listen. Like I got to put my guard down, and I'll tell you how I do it. There's a guy named Donald Miller who created the story brand method. You can look that up, people. It's called the story brand method, right? My website has a framework of telling that story. And here's the one sentence killer, right? In order to give away free game, I cannot be the hero of your story. Super hard to do. Like if you got a child and you're like, I know you're gonna burn your finger if you touch that. They learn better when they burn their finger. But like, how do you guide them and without them killing themselves, right? And when I'm creating content, is I want to be your guide. I just want to be your guide. I'm like, look, you should work with me for these reasons. I know you don't believe it. However, you're facing leasing and mileage challenges right now. Try this, and see how that works out for you. And you could be the hero of your own damn story. Like, I mean, the second we put ourselves in the front of them as the hero, dude, nobody watches that movie. Like, you don't go there because you feel like, you put yourself in Tom Cruise's shoes for Maverick. Like, even Donald Miller said that. He said that Maverick he made during COVID was probably the best scripted movie ever. Dude, we didn't even know the name of the villain. Do you realize that? Have you seen Maverick?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh my God, you got to watch it. So anyhow, we didn't know the name of the country we were fighting. We didn't know this, we didn't know that, but we were all in love with him succeeding in that story, so we could feel like we won again. Like, it was story brand to a T. And being able to give that game away to people so that they can be a hero in their own story. And they can, so here's the thing, right? We want to get paid and monetize this thing, right? They have to feel like the hero because they spend the money.
You're right.
Now, they can't spend the money because they think I'm the hero.
Right.
After I got that through my head, I'm still working on it, by the way. It just completely spun me around. I was like, dude, I can't win your car game for you. I know you want to win. How about I throw you these little darts? Like, how about that? And it was fascinating, bros. People would call me like 5 years later and be like, man, what's up with that leasing thing? And I'm like, I told you this 5 years ago, dude. I have to like resist saying, I'm like, oh, really? You think about leasing? And it's interesting. Let's sit down and talk. You know, it's like, or like, by the way, when my kid comes to me, and I've said it 15 times, and they go to school and somebody says this, and they're like, Dad, what do you think about this? I'm like, I just have to bite my tongue. I'm like, all right, man, like, remember, I'm not the hero of the story. I have the knowledge that will get you to be the hero of your own story. I got to give you enough of it free so that you'll understand I'm the right choice for your journey.
Bruh, so can you talk us through the process that you had to go through to have your website actually reflect that story brand strategy?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I paid for the AI. So he's got an AI that he sells that will diagnose your website and help you rewrite it. So it's Donald Miller story brand. I haven't used it much because, you know, everything is advancing so fast. So it gave me a good start. I still don't think my website's probably not the best example. I don't think it's converting like I want to. It's doing really well with people who know me, not so well with organic and cold leads. So
how do you know that?
Analytics and looking at that data. Like, yeah, not because I'm guessing. It's like I run a audit on it, and I'm like, what's hitting and what's not? You know, I'm like, okay, damn. It was great to see so many people that wanted to talk to me be able to.
When you're analyzing your data on your website, what is it that you're looking for? What are the things that jump out to you that you need to make an adjustment, or that you cooking with grease?
I feel like that when I'm looking at my website, I want people to, I want them to feel like the hero, that they feel comfortable calling me because they need a guide. Like, they understand I'm the right authority to be talked to. And here's where I'm thinking my website is falling down is, here's the action steps you can take to get to me and to get going. And there's not enough questions being answered on my website right now to bring them to that fruition. However, it's getting better. And I think it's going to always be a work in progress.
So because when I think about the full infrastructure that facilitates conversion, the website plays a role, social media plays a role, our word of mouth presence plays a role. Because when you mention that your website is not necessarily answering all of the questions that would take someone that doesn't know much about you and have them be more inclined to actually reach out to you, what balance do you feel needs to be struck between how much is answered on your website versus how much is addressed through your social media presence?
It's the one I'm most afraid of. I need to niche down more. I'm trying to get too many people to be comfortable with it, man. Like, I already have my new homepage built. I'm afraid to hit the button because it's going to be like, when you go there, man, I shouldn't be on this website. This is not me. You know, it's like, because, you know, there's one question I want you to answer. Would you like to get the car you want without going to the dealership? Question mark. That's it. Like, if that's you and you want to avoid, and then it'll break down like all the time that you're wasting and all the weekends and stuff like that. There was a guy that walked into my building today and walked in to talk to me. And he's like, what do you do here? I'm looking to get a fun car I can drop a check on and get something really nice and fun to drive. The last one I did was a Corvette. I flew to Phoenix to get it. And, you know, I was thinking about driving over here to get the car. And I just looked at him. I was like, dude, I don't think I can do anything to help you. I don't solve that problem. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I solved the problem of time. Like, if you want to get the car you want without going to Phoenix, going here, going there, we should talk. But if not, I'm not your guy. Like, I feel like you're doing everything. I'm just another, I don't have a car sitting here that you are looking for. Then you don't worry about it. You're willing to spend weeks driving all over. I'm like, okay. So we had a very friendly conversation and I let him go. Have a good day, man.
Bruh. So how much time did you have to invest in your entrepreneurial journey to have that confidence when that person walks in to say, we're not a good fit?
I try not to even say we're not a good fit. I try to use words like our.
I mean, that was the intent behind it. So I don't want us to get into a word soup piece, but like, yeah, what you said, you didn't say those exact words, but that was basically the sentiment that you conveyed. But it took a certain level of confidence in who you are as a professional and as someone that actually solves problems to not try to convert them into somebody that you could potentially work with. You didn't do that. You just said, you know what? I don't think, that was ultimately what you were conveying. So like how long, what was the process of you getting to the space of, yeah, I may not be your guy?
Yeah. And I've been called arrogant, man. I mean, I think that it's very unfortunate. It's just, I think you have to, in order to serve the people, you either find the people that you can serve the best or you end up serving no one. And so to answer your question, 2000 to 2005, I tried to serve everybody. In 2005, I was like, I am not effective. I cannot continuously do this. I have to make a change. And so I niched down a little bit. And in 2007 was the first year I had over $1 million in sales. Crazy how that happens. Up until then, it had been like 350, 400. These numbers are really small. And so that data, you look back on the data, I'm like, dude, I'm on the right track, right? And so every year since 2007, I've been niching down. Sometimes it expands and I want to help more people until I realize I can't. My thing I live by is I can help everybody. I can't save anybody. But I'm definitely going to help you. Like, that's a fact. Like, you talk to me about your situation, I'm going to tell you the truth. There's a high level that if you're asking me about an older car or something, you're not going to like what I have to say. That's okay. We can still be friends. And I know I helped you by giving you that game. Like, yo, you should think about this. Don't do that. How much is a transmission going to cost? Even though you're writing a check for 15, because you don't think you have to write a check anymore after you do it today. You'll find out later. So either you listen to me now or we're gonna talk later. So, and it hurts because I want to help them all. But yeah, so it took me about 5 years the first time. And then niche down even more and more and more. And now I feel like I'm about to do it again at a really, really high level. Like, I want to help them all, man. But like, your first thing is, if you want to save time, I'm your guy.
You know what? The irony in us having this conversation right now, because I was literally walking around my client's business today, thinking to myself, like, I'm in the business of transforming businesses because that's what's happening right now. My client's business is fundamentally being transformed from top to bottom.
Right.
And that is what gives me the most fulfillment. So it's
watching
almost
the transformation. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like if you're not looking,
watching them win, them win. Yeah.
But like when I think about my marketing strategy from how I feel about that, it's like if you're not looking to transform your business into like a profitable enterprise that don't hold you captive, we probably shouldn't talk. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not, I don't know how much value that I'm actually going to be able to provide you. We can talk, and going back to how we led in with the conversation. I can give you a lot of free game, but if you're not looking to actually transform your business, it's almost going to fall on deaf ears. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to waste my breath even giving you free game. If you're not looking to fundamentally transform your business.
I mean, but like when you're making a content, right? I feel you, because I feel like it's all right. It's okay. Like if you like driving to Phoenix and flying somewhere to buy a car and drive back and you don't worry about that time, part of me respects you for it. I'm like, dude, that sounds like a lot of fun. Like you're gonna have a lot of fun doing that. Like I don't like driving a car over like 100 miles, but like if that's what you want to do, that seems freeing. Like you're gonna take pictures, you're gonna drive through all of these different states. Like I think that's part of the authority building process as well, as we have to respect other people's wishes. It's like, bruh, please go ahead and win without me. Which is because we want, I think, and so what stops people from giving that game away is they want people to buy from them. And this dude just ain't my guy. Like, dude, I get it. Enjoy yourself. Like, let's just have a coffee talk. Like, and to try to say it, not in a snobbish way. I'm still working on that. I'm working on that. But like, yeah. So giving that authority away makes me feel good. And what ways am I doing it? Is producing videos that I can be a guide and help people win, or just like, so we don't talk about the specifics right yet, but like reporting on something that I see. Like last week, New Jersey did this big thing with brokers, and they start calling me. I got 2 calls from New Jersey, and people were talking about this and that. And I'm like, yo, I can help you with that. I can talk to you about it. I got another email today from a lady out of state that wants to talk about brokering, and they're hungry and thirsty for this information, right? But they didn't call me and say, hey, be the hero of my story and fix all my stuff. I had to fight against that. Do this, this, and this, right? Give you an example. Like, guy called me a week ago, and it's like, and stop me if I talked about this already, but the guy was like, I want to leave the car business and do this and do what you're doing. And I was like, how many contacts do you have? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, how many contacts do you have in your CRM? Like, how are you going to reach out to people and start talking to people? I don't have all that stuff. I'm like, okay, so who are you going to sell to? That's the first step. So then I was like, oh, wow, I should probably build content on that, or invite people to talk to me about it. Like, here's one way you can do it. Have you thought about how you can collect 300 names of people that really appreciate your information and appreciate how you help them and serve them? You got to get started on that, because you can't just think you're the best salesman in the world. Like you can, I provide the best pricing. It's like, great, you got nobody to talk to. We all have to have somebody to talk to. Like, that's why me and you are alive right now. So
how do you, because that makes me think about a conversation that I was having with a client of mine last week. How do you leverage your current client list of folks that you have brought value to in the past in order to create new opportunities?
It's a good question. I haven't really figured it out for what I'm trying to do. So if you're asking me, it's like, well, wait a second. No, I can answer that question directly. Like, so there's 2 businesses I have. I have my intellectual property business, where I am teaching people how to be a broker like me and build a business from the ground up. That's one thing. And then I have RH Auto Brokers, with a pool of clients that have worked with me over the last 20 years, right? So how do I leverage them into new opportunities? Is we give to them. Like, I'm like, hey, here's some information this month. Here's an item of value. We're having an event next month. Would you like to come? And introducing them to my network. Like, hey, I've got people I got contractors, I've got real estate agent, I've got a financial planner. I mean, by helping them, and basically providing opportunities for them to succeed. Once again, not being the hero, but being the guide, right? And so I think that the real gist of all of this giving stuff, dude, when they say givers gain, I feel like they left out some, like, you have to genuinely do it. Like, you have to feel good about it.
Hold on. Yes, you got to genuinely do it. Yes, yes.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
it's easily said, right? But I think most
Yeah.
people, they wonder why their businesses aren't taking off. It's like you expect everybody to buy. You really don't want to help them unless they're buying. I said this on the floor of the dealership back in like 1995 because it was a common thing. People would come in the door, we shaking hands and showing them Hondas. And me and Scotty, like Scotty and I were tight. And it was like, that customer left, he didn't buy a car. Oh, he sucked. He was no good. He was a stroke. That was a word we use in the industry. Like he's just basically a tire kicker, right? But then when someone said yes and bought a car, oh man, they're the best people in the world. They're freaking amazing. We love these people. You look at that, right? You're like, are they only good people when they buy from me?
Right.
We've lost something there. Like it's like we're just not in alignment for this particular solution that they're looking for. That's okay. Give them everything you got and sell through them genuinely. Like, yo, go tell your friends about me. You like flying to Phoenix? I know your friends don't. Tell your boy to holler at me when he's looking for a ride. You go to fly to Phoenix. You know, like it's all good. Like it's everybody can win, dude. You know,
Right. Right.
genuine care for other people and how their plights are, and
Yes.
where I'm at.
Yes. Yes. So when you think about the context of, because this is another conversation that arises frequently with my clients, the difference between upselling versus providing additional value.
Yeah. Bye, Brenny. When are you coming back? Curfew. All right, see you. She in the streets. The
What's
difference between what now?
the difference between upselling versus providing additional value?
I struggle with upselling, man. Like there's some things that I should probably ask people often because it would really help them. But like,
And that's
I
what I'm
see it.
saying. That's what I'm saying, because we can psych ourselves out to actually providing additional value based on how we're framing it in our own mind to say, I don't want to upsell you. So I'm not even going to talk about this because it feels
I'm
like I'm
guilty of that.
almost being predatory, as
I'm guilty
opposed
of that.
to it's legitimately providing more value for me to share this with you.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like when we started the video earlier, we were talking about what I had, had one in last week. I was like self-improvement. That's another place where I need to self-improve by watching people like Myron Golden, Russell Brunson, all of these guys who they don't do a lot of selling. They make a lot of offers. It's completely different. It's a psychological thing. They invite you. They're like, even Myron says that I'm inviting you to come in. It's only $150,000 an hour, but you're going to get me on the stage, like, and you're like, damn, I need to figure out how to pay for that. Like it's crazy. But then when you get in there, they upsell you. Like, would you want this? You want the front row seat? You want this? You want this? You want lunch? Like they're adding value. Yeah, man, that's a struggle for me. Like I want to offer people value, but I don't want to be predatory.
Yo, that's probably one of the biggest struggles that I'm having right now with the contract that I'm on,
Yeah.
because the firm has a lot of resources available, but every single one of those resources comes with a hefty price tag.
Yeah.
And I struggle with, because I know that the firm, regardless of how they frame it, because they use fancy words and jargon to distract from what their intent is, which is to increase revenue. I struggle with that because it's like I'm all for creating the space for my clients to get the absolute highest scale of value possible. But I also understand that every conversation that I have about additional value is at least $10,000. and it's like it's difficult. You know what I'm saying? It
Are
is.
they giving them ways to pay for it too? Because I've had a guy come sit with me trying to get out of his car because he went to this real estate seminar. They showed him what he should be doing. He didn't have the money. They said, come in this room. We got ways for you to pay for it. He left there do like $60,000 in credit card debt for this system to go flip houses or whatever. Like, is that what you're saying? Like, do they give you ways to pay for it too? Like, okay, you ain't ready for the 10,000, well, you can, it's 25% and we can get you set up right here.
So the way that they create opportunities for that additional value to actually land credibly is it's basically the equivalent of a non-interest loan, where instead of the invoice being $20,000 for the week, it gets split into multiple payments, and it just extends the repayment
relationship too.
Absolutely, without accruing additional interest, because like where else are you going to go in today's economy and get a no interest loan of value?
No, that's good. I mean, that's not a bad ploy. It's not.
Yeah. So like that is but again, going back to my primary question and point there, it is certainly something that I struggle with, man. Like that whole conversation of the upsell versus providing additional value. And I think that it's an important conversation for our pack, right? Our community.
That's what we call our crowd, the pack. It's two people right now. Thank you for being here, y'all too.
Right. And Rob, if you still there, salute for the like as well, my brother. But
appreciate the like.
Yeah, like it's a real freaking struggle, man, because the value, I know for sure. So for example, when it comes to the value and purpose of a website,
right,
when one does not have a good website, it is a black eye, because like you go to these networking events, you hand out your business card, someone goes to your website to actually validate who you said that you were when you met them.
Yeah.
And they see a bunch of bullshit. And it's like, okay, well, that doesn't accurately or credibly represent the value that this person said that they provide. Why would I want to take it a step further? But paying for a new website is not just a small drop in the bucket. Like, to have a good website, it costs. Like is really well, actually, am I speaking out of turn? Has that been your experience, Ronnie?
Oh yeah, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars over a span of time working on that digital business card that we call a website. I think figuring out how to make that website work for me has been the challenge, which is fine. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean, but building an authority online, I know a guy that serves 18 billionaires in America. He ain't got no website. You don't find out about him that way. But he caters to them and they do specific services. One of them is getting them cars. This cat was like, dude, I'm looking for 7 Hennessy Ford F-150s. I'm like, oh my God, like brand new. Like a dealer would be lucky to get one of those a year, dude. Like, so like,
I didn't know that was a thing. What is a Hennessy? Say that again and tell me what that is. What are the bells and whistles? What's the value proposition for what it is that I'm just learning about?
I didn't look into it because nobody's asking me. I could look it up. I know, just call it like the Shelby. Like a modified version of the truck with over 700 horsepower, and it's unique. You know, it's basically a huge toy like a Lambo or something like that, and they don't cost as much, but like, you know, it's still, if you got one, you're in the know. Like, it's like, okay, and you had enough money to write a check for it. Like, I don't, loans on expensive cars like that are a lot different. They require skin in the game and cash and stuff like that. So, which is weird. Like, people don't understand that. Like, it's like, yeah, they don't just, they hit a certain level and the bank gets scared, no matter how much money you got. Because they're like that they already, you know why? Because they know that truck will never resell for that kind of money. It's only worth that much money to the person who's buying it. So, but like
At that time, yes, dang, it's crazy. At that time, yeah,
at that time, like, you know, but they got you know, if you're building an authority, I think it's don't be afraid. Like, if you don't want to have a website and stuff, you can't just say I'm not going to have a website and then have no plan. That's all I'm saying. Like, maybe you're flying around to super high level meetings every year and putting yourself in the room and passing out your digital asset that's not a website. Like, to me, that seems super difficult, but like, I'm not going to say no. Like, if someone doesn't want a website, I'm like, fine. You know, I'm not going to run my business that way. I'm going to have website and waiting for you to get to me because I'm not that niche down. But you have to be super, super niche down. He said, dude, I don't even work with these billionaires until we go to dinner. Which sounds funny, but like, they're all over the country. Like, he's like, yeah, we'll go to dinner, have a conversation about the problems I solve, and then we go from there. I was like, God dang it. I was buying a car from him. Like, he was selling me a car, one that they had discarded.
because it's levels to this shit, man.
It was really cool. I was just like, tell me more. Like, wow, like, that is fascinating. But he had his niche down so tight. He was like, that's all I do. I work with 18 people. I was like, holy cow, that's cool. Not looking for another one. I work with 18.
Oh man, no, and like that piece is so important to the overall conversation that we're having, because that was one of the upsell versus additional value. That was one of the dilemmas that I faced 2 weeks ago. Does my client need an updated website? Without a fucking doubt. Like, it's no question. Like, the website as it's currently designed, trash would probably be a compliment.
But what you were thinking is he don't need to spend 10,000?
Well, it's not just the website that he's paying for. It's a lot. It's more that comes along with it. But
he's done really well to have trash and still be paying you. Oh, your company that you contracted with. Sorry, let's just make that clear. Jesse's not the guy.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's what made it so complicated for me, because I see, like, we can lead with bravado when we walk into rooms, and we have to as entrepreneurs, because if we don't believe what we're saying, then it's very difficult to get somebody else to believe what it is that we're saying. So we got to lead with that bravado and confidence, etc. I see the financial reports, so I know what's actually going on, what the real situation is. Like, going back to the managerial accounting and like that free game.
Yeah,
I see the real story, what's really going on. So the idea of presenting an offer and that offer is not 10,000. It's actually 20. It's closer to about 90,000 for the full package. The website being a part of it.
E-commerce, whatever else you got going on.
All of the things, the bells and whistles, right? Well, I also understand that the return on that is not immediate at all. So to put that infrastructure in place, the idea of talking about a $90,000 endeavor that comes back over time, and we talking an extended period of time, It's
Mm-hmm.
like, man, it's difficult for me to know that he getting ready to write a check for $20,000 in 3 days, and his bank account balance doesn't support it. His cash flow does not support it. But I also know that absent having the right marketing infrastructure in place, it significantly cripples his opportunity to for his business to be what it actually is worth. So it's like, this whole back and forth of upsell versus providing additional value, talking about a struggle, bro. Like a
Well,
real.
I think that for building your own, if you separate yourself from the company that you contract with, I can tell you're not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I've talked to people about building a business like mine, like having a building, having the ability to buy cars all over the country by pushing a button on the computer and then having someone go pick it up and bring it to me. How to get that done? It can be done, by the way. Like you can figure it out. I came from nothing. Like you can figure it out. But to charge them like when they don't have the cash flow to do that, I think it's be levels to it. Like maybe you've got a small dealership lot and you're ready to start deploying some of these strategies. And it's like, yeah, you're probably ready to do this, right? So I guess you could use like an application process. You could make sure that you're protecting your pack. Like you're not ready, that's okay. Max out on where you're at, and then we'll go to the next level. I mean, because my heart is in the same place. It's like, if I can't see you, if you're not going to do the work, I'm fine with you signing up, and it's like you didn't do the work. But like, if I'm like, dude, you're not cash flow. Like if I'm doing something like that, I could run it through you. Like, go talk to Jesse. He'll let me know when you're ready. I can't afford to pay Jesse. You definitely can't afford to do this program with me. Like it's like, okay, totally fine. I understand. You're not cash flowing at that level to put that stress on your life and your family. But because I think it comes down to selling people get rich quick or get rich slow. And I'm a huge fan of get rich slow.
Ditto. And that was the conversation that we had, because I can't, with good conscience, the way that my moral and ethical code is kind of set up, it's no way that I could just silently endorse that offer the way that the firm expected me to just push it down the throat of the client. But what I could do is say, this is a conversation about price versus value.
Yeah.
So when you understand the value that comes from this investment and it aligns with the direction that this company is going in, then make the investment. If who is presenting this to you does not answer all of your questions and give you the confidence that you are going to actually see the return on investment, don't do it.
Yeah.
That was my coaching on it, because again, I understand that my read on that is anything short of that, I can also be hurting my client, because that 90,000 ends up being a drop in a bucket to what's going to come back from it when everything is actually firing on all cylinders the way that it's presented in the offer.
That's exactly the pack I want in this room as our audience. It's like, look, dude, because I told people, like, when they come work with me, they're like, why do I have to be on social media? I'm like, you don't. Are you able to spend $15,000 a month in social media advertising indefinitely? What's indefinitely mean? Forever. And you know what? I'm not even joking. That's what CarMax does. They want to plant a flag here. They flood the market with marketing, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. What are they doing, Jesse? They're building authority in this market. And then that place gets built right by Costco. They drop the flag. All of a sudden, people are like, it's the best place to buy a car. Not necessarily, however, They understand the importance of building an authority and turn it into the greatest asset. And they're willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to do it because they have a guy like you in their headquarters saying, we've done the math, we have the cash flow, this will work. They aren't even, it's not even a guess. It's gonna work. But when I'm talking to the people in our pack, it's like, dude, you can do the same thing as CarMax. You got to get on here every day. You got to go build authority. You got to create that and monetize that and build it. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do that. I mean, how many people are we going to meet that has 15, 20 grand a month indefinitely to just continuously pour into it until it clicks? I've not met that person. I've seen some corporations do it, but I've not met that singular person.
And that comes down again to the difference between an investment versus an expense. So when that $15,000 is returning $30,000 in revenue, then it's an investment. And
yeah, you get a return on it.
You can indefinitely invest because that 15,000 is doubling.
Now, you know what?
Period of time.
You know what though? Like, I'm not against that either. Like, I would actually like to be spending $15,000 a month in advertising, but I think it's more important to build it out first so that you actually have the eyeballs and the attention, and then, oh, this really works, and you have the data. This works. They like this. Let's put money behind that and make it go.
Right.
So
Ronnie, I promise you, that's why it's so exciting. It don't matter how exhausted that I am. It don't matter how much shit that I got on my plate. When this new contract opportunity presented itself, it was no question in my mind that I wanted to continue what it is that we're building, because because that's what we do. Every week we are putting another quiver in the hat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's another stepping stone. It's another solidification that we actually do what we do. And it's not through no selfish means or anything of the sort. Like, we are selflessly talking about millions of dollars worth of game every single week. And what I understand about the investment that we're making through this endeavor is that it will return, because the value is actually there. It's true value. We're not talking, and I love how you challenge me as we're having these conversations, because I have the tendency to expand the question that was posed, because like I understand, like, for how my mind works contextually, it's so much to every question that you ask me, and I try to contextually bring it all together for the layman to be able to actually go out and execute.
All right.
But you always, all right, I got what you said, but how do we bring that back down to the person that doesn't have the experience to fully understand what it is that you're saying?
No, and I appreciate what you're saying too. Like, I get that. Yeah, because I'm like, Jesse, I'm not even at that level. What? Like, but you know what? My brother taught me that somebody is like, because I remember when he was like, why don't you talk to people about building an auto brokerage? I was like, dude, it took me so long to get here. I felt bad about talking to him about it. So you don't even feel like I'm happy for you. You're like, nah, you need to be able to cash flow this much and this and know your numbers. And I want to see $250,000 a year in this. I'm like, okay. But see, there's somebody out there that's like, that's me. You know what? That's that niche. We can't serve all of them. Like, so I appreciate you saying what you said, but I'm like, also, like, don't get it twisted. I'm like, dude, if you're going to build an authority for your coaching business, it might be, are you at 250 cash flow? Are you a cash flow millionaire? Like, do you have this? You have that? Let me show you how you're losing 50,000 a month because you don't have the data I can bring you to show you how to win at a higher level for your team. So once again, you can be the hero of your own story, but
That
I mean, that might be a thing.
No, that absolutely is a true thing, and I can unequivocally tell you, Ronnie, I cannot wait to be spending $15,000 a month on advertising and marketing.
I think we're saying the same thing. We want to build it out first, but then, yeah,
100%.
I'm not against it, but
Yep.
I don't think you can just pour money on it.
Nope. No,
and
it does take the build out 100%. And every week that we have these conversations is a step in that direction of actually building all of that out. So when I do get to the space where I'm dumping 15 or 30 or 100,000 a month or whatever it is that I'm spending on advertising and marketing, you best believe there's a return that's coming back from it. And
my brother does. He's been spending triple digits for years. Like, yeah. I'm always scratching my head. Like, really? He's like, yeah, man. But he worked to figure it out. You know, I envy that. Like, you know why though? I'll tell people why I don't have a huge spend every month to drive people to me. It's because I had to start with zero, man. Like, and in my industry, this is the thing that I won't be able to teach people, how to go get that spend to turn it into leads that convert. Like, but you know what? We can bring somebody onto the podcast for that. But because I just don't have any experience in it. But
we can bring Chris on.
It's limitless. And the thing is, it's like, but I hope to talk to the person that's like, yeah, I don't have a huge budget, but I want to build and I want to build slow. This, okay, I'm your guy. Like, because I can show you exactly what you should be doing every day, every week, every hour. Like, if you're not posting, if you're not doing this, if you're not improving, some of it is just reading books, dude. Like, you've got to get better with your biggest problem, which is yourself. I'm talking to me.
No, I'm glad that you said that. Like, as I'm sitting over here, so the night before last, I stayed up to about 2 a.m. working.
Yeah.
And then I woke up at 5:30 and grinded all day long. I went to sleep at about 10 o'clock. I woke up again at if I didn't say it before, it was 5:50 that I wake up in the morning. Woke up again at 5:50 this morning. It is currently 10:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
In North Carolina. And I've been pushing all day long. Now, the reason that I share that is because there's a consistency. I could make the excuse that I'm tired, bro. Like, it's been a long fucking 2 days. It's been a long week. It's been a long, like, I can make excuses that wouldn't serve anybody, especially not me or the ambition that I have for what I'm building.
Yeah.
It don't matter that I ain't been getting no fucking sleep. The assignment is there and I'm committed to it. So, like, that's a big part of it as well, that through it all, and that's why I kind of emphasized that point a little bit earlier in the 30 years that you've been doing this grind. You know, when you talk about that point where you crossed $1 million, that shit didn't just happen.
Right.
Like, it was a lot of sleepless nights. It was a lot of looking in the mirror and saying, bruh, like Tyrese had that clip. What more do you want from me?
I had a $299 month one time, dude. Month. Like, God dang, dude. I remember calling my boy on that. If he ever watches this, he will remember that because I called him. You know, oh man, dude. Like, you know what? I've had some loser months too, but I mean, Jordan says it. I failed over and over and over again. That's why I succeed.
Failed into success, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to be realistic about it, but I don't think there is any success without failure. There is no courage without first facing fear. You know, you can't just be courageous. There's got to be a challenge,
right,
for you to ride. I'm courageous. Oh yeah, You ain't been tested yet. You ain't been punched in the face by Mike Tyson. You know, and you know what we're talking about in this authority hour. Mike Tyson is the fear of giving up, the fear of posting something today, the fear of going out there and doing stuff. How many times you think I got to work to get the lighting right so I like the way I look in the camera? Like, I hate the way I look in the camera, but you know, I know that this work has to get done. Nobody's gonna do it for me, man.
Ditto, 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 ditto. So, in closing, what brought us here to the authority hour being a thing was a good faith conversation that initially started between Ronnie and I, where the intent was just for us to become our own accountability partners for building this digital authority. And from it spawned the name of the brand and the community that we are building as a result of the brand.
Yeah.
There you go. And our goal is to take every person that's a part of our pack and transition them into solid dogs, bro.
Yeah.
Where we are disciplined, accountable with that warrior ethos and the grit to understand that we ain't got it all figured out, but goddamn it, we gonna get it right.
Yeah. Done is better than perfect. I feel you.
That part. So
Yeah.
for everybody that has and continues to rock with us,
Appreciate you.
absolutely understand it is not taken for granted. We have had one person viewing for like the past 30 to 45 minutes.
Man, they walked away from their computer an hour ago, dude.
Hey, they are still in the stats, and we appreciate you. So we do this every single week. We appreciate the folks that have been and continue to rock with us. This has been another installment of the Authority Hour. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
listening.
coming out. God bless.
Yeah.
Good night.